Hello guys, welcome to the next video on MongoDB database tutorial for beginners. In the last video we have seen how we can insert the data into the documents in MongoDB. Now in this video we will see how we can query the data from the documents using MongoDB. So in the last video, if you remember, we have created a database called school, which we are going to use in this video also. So just use school, and then to query all the documents from a collection which we have created in the last video inside school, which was student, what we can do is we can just write db dot the collection name, which is student in our case, and then just write find and then give these two brackets, something like this. Okay, and then execute this, and it gives all the data which we have inserted into the student collection, which is these documents, right? Now if you can see here, this is the dump of the results, and it's not prettified, or it's not shown in a pretty way. So to show this data in a pretty way, we have a command called pretty. So just write dot pretty. Okay, and when you give this command after this find and execute it, you will see this data in a prettified form, or in just like JSON format, right? And if you observe this data which is given by this MongoDB query, you can see this data. And if you remember, last time we have inserted these elements called student number, first name, last name, and age. But there is an extra field here added to our output, which is ID, right? So this is because whenever we insert a document in MongoDB, it creates a unique ID for every document, so that on the basis of this we can query our data, because this is the unique ID for your document. Now if you give this ID by yourself, for example you give this ID is equal to 1 or 2 or any other ID, then it's going to show you this ID. Otherwise MongoDB is going to create a ID by itself for you, which is shown to you here. Okay, now whenever you query the database, there can be some condition. On the basis of those condition, you want to query the data. For example, I want to query the data only for student 1. Okay, now the first way of querying the first document from your document list is just go here and just write db dot students and then dot find, and then you have this option called find one. Okay, and this option is going to give you the first document. So when we execute this query, it gives the first document which was inserted in this database. Okay, now there are some condition on the basis of which you want to query the database. For example, you want to query the database on the basis of age, or for example we want to query the database on the basis of student number, and we want the data of the student whose number is 2, for example. So what we can do is we can just write on the next line db dot student dot find once again, and then give these two round brackets, and inside these two round brackets just give these curly brackets, and then give the whatever element you want to query. Okay, so for example I want to just query the student number. Inside these curly brackets I will just write in double quotes student number and then is equal to 2 or colon 2. And keep in mind we need to give double quotes here, because here also we have given the double quotes, right? And then just select all the command and execute it, and now it gives the data for student 2. You can see here. Okay. Now, for example, you want to query the database on the basis of age, and we want the list of all the document which is greater than, for example, 16-year-old. Okay, so we can just write, instead of this, we can write age here, and then we can just write in the curly braces, so just write these curly braces and then give this dollar symbol, and then you just need to write GT for greater than. Okay, and then give this colon here, and then give the number or the age which you want to write here. Okay, so for example, we want all the student which is greater than 15 years old. Okay, and then we can just execute this command, and you can see all the data age is more than 15 here. Okay, and there is one more command. For example, you want to show the student who are more than 15 including 15, so greater than or equal to, so you just write GT and just include letter E here, which stands for equality, so it will show you the data which is greater than or equal to 15. So let's execute this command, and you can see 15 is included here. In the same way, we have less than command, so instead of GT E, we can just write LT, which is less than. Okay, and let's execute this command, and it gives a result all the ages which is less than 15, so 13, 12 and 10. And in the same way as greater than, you can just add letter E here, which includes the equality for this command. So whenever we execute this command, it gives, or it includes the 15-year-old student also, because it's equal to, less than or equal to. Okay, now there is one last command which is there, which is called not equal to, and for that you just need to write NE here. So NE stands for not equals. Okay, so it will give the data for all the student which is not equal to a 15-year-old. Okay, so just execute this command, and it gives all the ages except 15. Okay, and for example, you want to prettify this result once again, you can just write here pretty. Okay, so you can just add this command or add this function here, and then execute this command once again, and it gives you the result in a prettified way. So in this way you can query your documents. There are more ways of querying your documents, which I will show you in the next video. So please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.